Well, my name is ANDREAS ZAPATINAS. I'm a designer. I come from the automotive industry. That's, let's say, that's my passion. But I also venture into products as well. I think that's very helpful for a creative person to venture into different projects and not stay only in one course. You need to taste around to keep your radar open and operating all the time in order to be, I think, productive as much as you can. Well, we all understand what is the importance of design, but sometimes it's very, very difficult to pinpoint it. There's different theories, different approaches, but maybe I'll just mention a very simple one. Design is usually applied to industrial products. We live with industrial products since many, many thousands of years ago. Artisan industrial products, they are a company. So industrial design role is to take that product and make it even closer to the human. Offer not only the function, but also connect, let's say, the human spirit and the love for something which is a little bit the next step from the pure functionality. So I would say this is the primary role of design, to connect the product to the human, make the products human, and create a very nice relationship between the two. This is the responsibility of every product designer, of every engineer who works to produce things which will eventually be disposed of in the environment. So it is a challenge, and it is one of the challenges the industrial designer has to face. Industrial design, that's what makes it interesting. It always has to resolve a problem. Maybe some years ago, this problem of disposition of this product was not so strong. But now it is becoming strong. And the more, if you have a problem to resolve when you design something, I think it makes it more interesting to give it the solution at the end. You need the problem. So I think this is a good challenge, and it's welcome to have that as well in the industrial design. That's what would differentiate the good design from the bad design. It's another very, very important factor. And it's very welcome at the end. Because I think it's everybody's responsibility. It's every citizen's responsibility. Of course, the designer is in the first line because he's one of the main creators of any product. But at the end, it's not enough if it's only the designer. It should also be the people, everybody. If the market doesn't ask for it, then the company who asks to develop the product will not ask the designer to develop something which is ecological. So it's all connected at the end. We have to work in this connection. We're not separate from each other. Our needs are common. Some years ago, when I was working for a German brand, BMW, at those times we had paid a lot of attention, I'm sure they still do, in the aerodynamics of the vehicle. And the reason was obviously in order to increase the efficiency of the vehicle. I put myself and everybody who worked, our hearts and our souls, to try to create something which is basically record aerodynamic. And I think this is very important. When a car goes fast, it has a lot of resistance, and the less resistance it has, the less it burns. It's quite important, I think, at the end. Real leader, well, must be somebody who encourages, definitely, the people and the environment around that person, and must be probably somebody who also gives objectives, very clear objectives and strategic objectives. A real leader rarely works by his own self or by her own self these days. So must have objectives which are obvious, clear, and also stimulate the process. And be also himself stimulated by the process. I think that's at the end the most important thing, to create innovation. There are, of course, these magic moments, when you design something that at the end it has an impact. And you see that and you're very happy when others copy it, in a certain sense. I remember when I was starting my career, I introduced on the rear part of the Alfa Romeo this V on the hatchback, and this was, we're talking about late 80s. The car came eventually in 1994. And almost later, other cars started breaking the horizontal line on the rear hatch, started making the V as well, So I knew when the sketch was made there, I still remember doing the sketch, that, well, you know, makes sense. You know, why not? That's where the wiper goes. Alfa Romeo has a triangle there. You know, it's 1 and 1, 2. You know, and it took a while to pass this through the process. You know, but at the end there was a happy satisfaction because it became a brand. It gave an identity of all of the cars for many years to go and later. You know, so I think these magic moments. There were other moments like this when you know that something, you know, has a value to it, to give identity and to give some kind of a function even to the product. Or every product, as I mentioned before, has to connect the functionality with the user. And design is not only it looks pretty, it is quality. Design and quality are very much connected today. You cannot have something pretty which is not good quality at the same time, you know. And every year, let's say the level gets higher and higher and higher. So every year the designer, what was accepted before, a tolerance that was accepted before, is not anymore accepted, you know. So I think there is this endeavor, there's this continuous conquest to perfection in a certain sense, of trying, let's say, to give an object that has opinion, personality, or not so much opinion, and to make it beautiful and live better together with the user, you know.